Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the 71st Hour podcast, a gaming podcast with I'm one of your hosts, Jamie. Joining me, as always, is Ben and Nathan. How you guys doing?
Hey,
Doing
pretty
good?
good.
Hello, pretty good. Yeah.
I mean, this is pretty consistent, like 2 in a row. I mean,
Yeah.
well, it was a few days after, but that's fine. You know,
That's
scheduling
fine.
it happens.
Yeah, shit happens.
But yeah, we're here. We did it. We're
Yes.
consistent.
Mhm,
Now
mhm.
it's a thing that we do all the time, right?
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah, every day.
Every single day. No, maybe not every day.
Daily podcast.
Daily podcast.
But yeah, how have you guys? How's your week been? Been a good week?
Yeah, it's
How's
been a
the
tired
week
week.
been? Okay, it's been a
Yeah.
busy week for me.
It has been a long.
I'm starting with a new team tomorrow, and so the last
Ooh.
2 weeks have been just a bit too busy, just a little bit
Mm.
too busy. But gaming wise, it's been great. It's been awesome. There's a game this week that I didn't know I was going to be playing, and then all of a sudden, I fell in love with it. So yeah, and I guess this is a podcast with no filler. We should just get right into it.
Yes, I agree.
We should talk about Xbox's Developer Direct, which happened this last, I guess it was Thursday for us, at 6 a.m. Nathan, you get up at 6 a.m. for this?
Nope. I watched it at 11 when I
Neither
woke
did
up.
I got up and I was like, a public holiday? Oh, this is on. Yeah, I'll watch this now.
Yep.
I was actually awake for it. Actually, I was
Wow.
actually up for it. I actually
Wow,
was
look
up
at this
for it.
guy.
Yeah,
Look at this
dude,
guy.
I
He's
was
very
actually-
dedicated.
So I was there.
He
on the
loves
moment.
Xbox. How's
Yeah,
your
I
Xbox
love
Series
Xbox,
X going?
Oh
Series
yeah,
X, how's it going?
It's going great. It's going great. You know, it's yeah.
Yeah, it's going great. It's going great. Yeah,
Bro, my
I
Xbox VCR is really
hell
Yeah,
yeah,
love it,
dude.
man.
I can't imagine how much dust is backed up all up in that thing.
well,
giant
last time we
vents,
played
like-
it was when we played Halo 5 and
Oh my
it
God,
survived.
it actually worked.
It's
Yeah.
still
Right.
alive.
25
that was-
FPS, 720p.
Oh my god,
Gotta
it was so
love it.
bad.
Gotta love it.
I'm really
Gotta
glad
love
that they've just ditched
Yeah.
the Xbox One. You know,
Oh,
like obviously
seriously.
Hi-Fi Rush, which we're going to talk about only on next gen and PC, which is great.
Mhm.
But yeah, I guess we'll start with what they started with. I'm pretty sure, which was Minecraft
Mhm.
Legends.
Yep.
Which I don't think this is going to be a me game. Just judging from how it looks, obviously the game is sort of like is it PvP? It's sort of like a top-down kind of experience where you're doing sort of like you're invading other people's bases. Is that right, Nathan? I feel like I sort of like I watched this, but I was sort of skimming through it. I didn't really pick up on any interest
Wow.
from me for
Games
this. Like, what do you
journalist
think?
here. No,
Yeah,
it looks
dude.
like it kind of just looks like like a StarCrafty kind of like
Mhm.
one of those
it,
top-down sort of strategy games, but it's a little more involved. For me, I think I'll probably play quite a bit of this because it's up my alley and what I already play. I like Civilization a lot. I didn't really get into StarCraft, but I'm playing a lot of Dune Spice Wars, which is also a top-down strat as well.
Right.
I think I like the look of this one a bit better than a lot of other top-down strategy games, just because I feel like this one's going to have, like obviously a meta always evolves and people always get to do that meta eventually, but I feel like this one is a bit more refreshing in the fact that it's got like so many approaches to how you actually like approach combat and like resource gathering and what you actually do and how you do it and when you do it. I don't know. It seems like it could be a cool game to just sort of figure out as you go.
Yeah, that reminds me, like they mentioned, they were talking about obviously you can get these different kind of battlements, right, to invade people's bases and attack. And they gave an example of someone who used like a very like low powered kind of like a sort of cheap, right? It was a cheap kind of tool, but they just had so many of them that it just completely ripped through someone's base. And so I do like that strategy of like, even stuff that may not seem like it's going to be really powerful, just the sheer number of things that you can, if you spec into certain things, like it's you could really change the tide of, I guess, how the fight goes. I don't know. Once again, I'm not really one of these StarCraft, Dune Spice Wars fucking nerds. I'm not in this top down
nerds, bro.
fucking life, man. I'm not about this strategy life. I'm just here. I want them to give me a waypoint, tell me exactly where to go, give me a marker, tell me all the things I need. I don't need to think. I don't want to think. Minecraft Legends already a 0 out of 5 from me.
Whoa, look at
wow.
that bridge though.
I will play it.
No,
I'm gonna
here's-
play it. There's obviously if you're watching the video, there's the bridge. They're making bridges. It looks cute. Like they've got like an alpaca friend and a fox friend and a badger friend. That's great. They've got some friends with them. I don't know. Minecraft Legends, great. Fantastic for all the Minecrafters out there. I'm sure they're gonna love this.
You just you just in the 15-second period said that you get the 0.5 and then immediately went like, oh, it's great.
Well, it's great. It's great for that audience, is what I'm trying to say. Like,
Yes.
I am not the target audience. I'm not the target demographic.
I think I like it.
No,
I will
look,
probably. I'll give it a shot. You know, it's on Game Pass. Like, why wouldn't I try
Yeah.
it? But immediately, like, I'm not like this. This is my jam. You know.
look, I am actually pretty excited for it. I'm not gonna lie. I think it looks
No
pretty good.
shot. Why?
I actually look. I actually think it looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted like,
I didn't
as
say it didn't look good.
yeah, no, but like the thing is
Like
that
visually, like I like the. I actually kind of do like the
The-
cell shaded look of it.
the thing about it is that immediately. Do you guys remember Cube World? Do you remember that game?
It looks like Cube World, yeah.
It does look like it. As soon as I saw, it, I'm like, is this Cube World? But then I saw it's Minecraft Legends. But like, I thought it looked very,
Gives me
very
that
similar to
vibe. Yeah, definitely like the art,
Rest in
the
peace,
way
Cube
it.
World.
Yeah, rest in
gone,
peace.
but
It's
and
so sad.
forgotten, gone and forgotten.
Gone and
Yeah,
forgotten.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I think this will be popular for, you know, I'm sure it'll be on people on Twitch will play this a bunch because it's Minecraft naturally.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. I got
It-
nothing. Anything else to say about this about Minecraft Legends?
No, really? Yeah, looks good.
All right. Well, now let's get into something that I do care about, which is Forza Motorsport.
Of course.
Okay, well, I mean, dude, racing is cooler than fucking. Oh, let me get my units and
Nah, Forza is good. I like Forza.
Well, yes.
Forza's going to be great. I think
Mhm.
I have no kind of reservations is what I'm trying to say about Forza Motorsport. I think it's going to be great. It's been, I think Forza Motorsport 7 came out in like 2017. So it's been like
Wow.
6 years since a Forza Motorsport. It's been so
Wow.
long that the licenses for the music, or I guess the cars for Forza Motorsport, have expired to the point where there are actually you can't play a Forza Motorsport. Like, you can't buy one right now.
Oh shit.
You can't play. You can't.
Damn.
Forza Motorsport 7 is not on the store anymore unless
Wow.
you bought it.
There you go.
So yeah, it's been a long time. Obviously, I got a racing wheel, and I'm very, very excited to try this out. I think it's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to it. Little concerned that there's no release date attached to it,
Yeah.
which makes me think that this is not gonna hit before the middle of the year, which they said last year. They were like, oh yeah, June 2023. That's when all these games are coming before. That's the cutoff for these games. This is not coming before June, I don't think. But it will come this year. I think it'll be towards the end of the year, maybe like September, October kind of area. And I think it's gonna be great. I mean,
I'm always really surprised with the little details they managed to add into the game. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, like, the amount of little details they added to Forza Horizon, the last one. Was that 4?
5.
Five.
Was it
Yeah.
It's too many. The amount of little details they added even to the last Forza Horizon, and now this one again, they've added just so many more little details that just bring out, I don't know, not even just realism, but just like the amount that you can do with the cars and upgrades and all that sort of stuff.
I think the big thing is that this is ray tracing on track. Like, it's not
Yeah.
just, Horizon 5 had ray tracing on console, but it was only when you were using like the
Forza
screenshot.
Vista.
Forza Vista, yeah, right. They did actually add ray tracing to Horizon 5 for PC, which is cool. And so now, obviously, Forza Motorsport is going to have that, which is great. And I'm sure it's going to run really awesomely. Like, I think Forza Motorsport 7 was like 4K 60 on an Xbox One X. So, like, this is 100% going to be 4K 60. It's going to have ray tracing. It's going to have all the bells and whistles. And it's definitely going to be a showpiece for, like, next-gen gameplay and next-gen visuals for sure. It looks great. I mean, like, looking at this, like, it basically looks real. Like, we've gotten to the point now where it just... It feels like you're actually there,
There are some videos I see online of like cars doing ridiculous things in third person, and it's like, is this a game? Is this real life?
Yeah, dude. Like, I love the comparison shots of like, here's a photo of the car in real life, and here's a photo of a car in like Gran Turismo or Forza Motorsport, and it's like, dude, like you could literally flip them around 100 times, and I probably couldn't tell.
Yeah,
to be honest, because they've really nailed that. I mean, I feel like car games. I feel like that's such an old person
car
thing to say.
games.
Car games.
Racing games have always sort of been that graphical like leap. And this is no different, I don't think. Ben, are you a Forza Motorsport fan?
I enjoy Forza Horizon. Forza Motorsport has never really been my thing, but one thing I was gonna say is that I feel like Forza always does well no matter what the series is. I feel like I don't remember too much of like bad press unless like they're a lot older of games, but like I feel like they always do well. And I know my brother absolutely loves motorsport, and he has like the racing wheel, he has like he has the racing chair, he has everything. He absolutely loves all of it.
Yeah.
But like I'm not a huge fan myself, but I know that they always do well. And as you said, graphically, it is astonishingly beautiful. It is like
Yeah, I know.
insane. It is actually insane how good these games are starting to look now. And yeah, I think it's going to do well. It's definitely going to do well. I don't see why not. And it's just I'm definitely going to play it, but I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it. Same as Legends with you. I don't think I'm going to enjoy it, but I know it's definitely
It
a
is
good game.
free.
It is
Yeah, I
free.
mean,
It is free.
the thing is,
That's
like, it's so easy for these games to be like, it's not, it may not be my immediate vibe, but I'm still gonna try it at least because it's on Game Pass.
exactly. It's on Game
Um,
Pass.
and you're right, like the Forza, Turn 10, they don't miss when it
No,
comes to
they
Forza
do
games.
really
Like
well.
since Forza
No.
Motorsport 1 on the original Xbox, they've always been amazing.
Mm.
Throwback to what I played before Forza Motorsport. Do you remember Project Gotham Racing?
Oh, dude.
Damn,
Project
that-
Gotham Racing, what was it?
Yes,
3
actually.
on the 360?
Yeah.
That game was so good.
yeah, man, that was the one.
I
Oh,
admit, dude, they should bring that back. I don't even know who made Project Gotham
Neither.
Racing.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But it was weird because that was only on Xbox as well.
Mm.
But they
Mhm.
also had Forza Motorsport. So it was like these two like racing franchises like competing almost.
Yeah.
It was very strange, very weird times. There were so many racing games. I feel like, I mean, there are a lot now. Obviously, you've got like F1, and you've got like Dirt, and what is it, Grid? That was like the spin-off of Dirt, where it was
Yeah.
like it was. So there's always been a lot of different racing franchises, but I feel like they've sort of consolidated almost, where there's not as
They're each in
many as
their
they
own
used to be.
category. Yeah.
Yeah,
Forza's
exactly. And
taken over
also,
the road racing.
Yes.
Dirt's got the rally racing.
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
like now that EA owns like Codemasters,
Yep.
like all of those Codemasters franchises are now like part of EA, and so I think they've stopped making like Dirt. I don't think they're making another Dirt game because they've got like a different rally. Like I was a WRC rally or some. I
Something
don't know.
like
There's
that.
so
Yeah.
many different they've got like EA has got like now like I think half a dozen racing franchises that they just kind of they don't know what to do with them. I guess I don't know because they bought Codemasters.
Pick the most popular one and see
Yeah,
where
exactly.
we go.
Just yeah, well, however it does like sell like units selling wise, that's
Yeah.
what they go with.
Mm.
But Forza always going to be good. It's
Yeah.
gonna score really highly. People are gonna love it who are into racing games, and I can't wait to see how it feels on like with a racing wheel. Because like
Mm.
obviously I've tried Horizon 5 with a racing wheel, but it's not really meant for, like I feel like Horizon isn't like the kind of game that's meant for a racing wheel in the same way that Forza Motorsport is.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to try that and see how that experience is.
Mhm.
But anyway, obviously Forza Motorsport, great, fantastic, love it for the car nerds out there. Let's talk about Redfall.
Mhm.
Lukewarm take incoming.
Which
Yeah, here
no,
it
this
comes.
as I said this on the stream, I said this
Lukewarm take.
before. I have a hot take about Redfall, but I'm gonna let you guys talk about this game first before I give my lukewarm to hot take.
Alright.
But yeah, this was sort of the big thing that they showed at the direct. Is like this is they spent the most amount of time on Redfall. It's sort of the biggest game, I guess, out of the bunch here. It's obviously by Arcane, who have done stuff like Prey and Dishonored. So they've got a really good track record, and also Deathloop as well.
Yeah.
Is another one, the more recent one. But yeah, what do you guys think of this?
I
Nathan?
always like these sorts of like, Left 4 Dead-esque 4-player co-op go through the
100%.
level kind of games.
Mhm.
Even if they're kind of shit, like what's it called, Back 4 Blood? Is that the one?
Back
Back
for Blood.
yeah.
Back for Blood.
It's not like we really didn't enjoy it that much, but it was still fun, Like
Mhm.
It was definitely some fun to be had,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Like
It's
some limited
always-
fun.
yeah, they're always like good to an extent. But yeah, no, I think given the history of these guys' development, I think this game should be pretty good.
100%. 100%. Yeah, no, I'm with Nathan on that. I always love these type of games. As I said, Left 4 Dead is one of the first games I ever played, and I always love the kind of formula that Left 4 Dead had. And I think this game does look really good, especially with the different abilities that the people have. It looks very, very good. The levels look interesting, and having a different take, not just be zombies, but actually have it be different, I think makes it a lot better as well.
Come on.
Come on, let's hear. Wait, oh no, Jamie.
Yeah, his internet
You
died.
just, you just let me for a second. I'm back. I'm
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
What the hell was that? Jesus,
Yeah,
I
thought I froze.
disassociated for a second. I'm back.
I-
I'm back. I'm back. I'm back in my own body. Don't worry.
Hi, Jamie. What's your hot take?
Wait, I totally missed what you said, but that's fine. So here's the thing, right? You
Fine.
guys are saying, "Oh, I love Left 4 Dead. Back 4 Blood was bad, but it was kind of fun." This game isn't Left 4 Dead. It's like it looks like a little bit like Left 4 Dead. It's not Left 4 Dead. This is like Arcane's version of like Far Cry, but with vampires. Like
Okay.
at least that's what I'm getting from it, right? Because obviously Left 4 Dead has that kind of formula where it's level based. You have a kit. You kind of scavenge for items as you go, and then you get to the end of it of a mission. You get to a safe house, and then you continue, and it's sort of mission based.
Yep.
This is open world, so
Ah,
instead of you going to like safe houses, I assume you have some kind of like hub where you would kind of squat up, and then you go from there. And instead of it being, I mean, a lot of what they showed at the direct was very kind of, I think it's the side mission kind of stuff, not so much like the main story. And from my perspective, I'm worried that this, like they've said, this is great. You know, it's a co-op game, but you can play it solo. I think this game almost is going to be needed to play. Like you're going to need to play it in co-op because otherwise it's going to be way too monotonous solo.
yeah.
Because they literally what they said was, okay, there's towers you go to, and then they reveal parts of the map.
no.
It's like, okay,
Oh,
Ubisoft towers, great.
no.
You've got these,
Oh,
you've got these
please.
areas of the map with bosses, and when you defeat a boss, it clears the area a little bit. And then when you kill all the bosses of all the different areas, you get like there's a super mega boss you've got to fight, or like a vampire god they called it. That's just like that's just checklist stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like
That's
I don't know if that's exactly what I want an Arcane game to kind of be. And then also looking at like they've announced like a digital deluxe edition, which has like costumes and whatever. But it also has like you get 2 extra characters that are going to come post launch. So the way this looks is like it's almost sort of like a live service-esque kind of game
Oh,
with
no.
gear and
Oh,
level ups and
no.
like maybe like a 4-player kind of raid scenario.
You have changed the concept of this game entirely in my mind.
And that's
Yeah.
what I was getting from this. I was like, this was not a good showing for me. Where I was like, this is
Because this
not.
gave me Left 4 Dead vibes the second I saw it.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
what I thought too. Like when they showed it like last year at Xbox's like E3 sort of not E3 thing. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. It's like it sort of reminds me of Left 4 Dead, right? But when they showed it here, I was like, oh, this is very like open world checklisty kind of
Do
style.
you know?
Go on.
Do you know what gives me vibes of now? Do you know what gives
Mhm.
me vibes of? Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Mm,
I don't
That's
think it'll
why-
be that bad.
no.
But
I
like
hope
it's
not.
the same formula. But I mean,
And
it's the same
maybe that's
formula.
not fair because like Ghost Recon Wildlands isn't necessarily bad. It's just like you really need to love it to continue with it, I think.
Yes. What I mean by that is that I enjoyed Wildlands a lot. I've done a couple playthroughs. I actually enjoyed it quite a lot. But the formula of kill this boss, like kill a certain amount of bosses to kill a big boss and stuff like that.
What's that open world zombie game? The one we played a lot of. Parkour one.
Dying Light.
Yeah,
Dying
it's a little bit like that, I suppose.
Yeah, that one doesn't really have like kill bosses. That's like a
No,
story progression. But the idea of killing bosses to kill one big boss, that can get very monotonous very quickly because it just feels like, okay, I'm gonna kill this one. Now I'm gonna move to this one. Now I'm gonna
You
move to
are
this one,"
right. It
and-
does. It actually, it is like Wildlands, where there's like bosses in certain domains. So it's like
Yeah,
the drug
right?
cartel
Mm.
people that you have to take. You have to do missions to reveal their location, and then you kill them, and
That's
then you go to the next.
exactly the same.
And like you're 100% like on. And I'm not sure if that's exactly how it's going to work. Like I'm not sure if it is a matter of doing like these little side objectives. Like what obviously, if you're watching the video and you're not just listening to this, the mission they're showing is sort of how you can do stealth in the game. And this is a side activity. Like this isn't necessarily like a main mission objective. It's just something like they find, I guess, like an outpost, like a Far Cry style outpost that you need to kind of empty.
Yeah.
And I think the saving grace of this game is that Arcane's gameplay is so fucking good.
They have
Always.
really good gameplay.
And you're right about the abilities. Like Arcane's abilities, like in Dishonored, like that's their bread and butter. Is giving
100%.
you super powerful abilities.
Yeah.
But the keyword is powerful, and when you attach kind of the abilities and the weapons to a gear score, how powerful are you really going to feel when you are having to upgrade your weapons? You are having to upgrade your abilities with just a number. Like instead of it being in Dishonored where it's like you get mods that kind of tune your abilities. in this, if it's all completely judged by a number, like a value,
Wait, this is a gear score as well. This has a gear score
there
like
is so
Destiny
there
and
were so there
Division?
were so I will so there was leaked gameplay or leaked images
Yep.
of like your character screen.
Mhm.
And the character screen had like weapons and abilities with rarity scores attached to them, and there
Okay.
were scores.
Mm.
So, like that's why Lucas said
Mm.
in chat, he's like, "Okay, I'll probably play the campaign, but I might drop off after that because there
Ah.
is post launch, there is post campaign stuff to do."
Okay.
Yeah, I got
But
the completely wrong vibe from that trailer.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
reserve
same.
my judgment because
Same.
Arcane like doesn't, they really don't miss. See, like look,
But yeah, I'm sure
you
it'll at
see
least
right
be
there?
good.
Oh
See,
yeah.
he picked up some loot, and it was
Oh, yep.
on
Yep.
screen
Yeah, look at
rating
that.
health increase.
Yep.
Like it's like Destiny rarities and like and typical, you know, obviously looter shooter rarities. So I don't know. I'm kind of regretting adding this to my fantasy critic now because I think from like a review standpoint, I don't know if this is gonna hit for like games critics
True.
and
Fair
maybe
enough.
people that like because we jump off games pretty quickly, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like there's a few exceptions, but in terms of like group games that we play, we jump around a bunch. And
Mhm.
so I don't know if we're gonna necessarily like really vibe with this to the point where we're playing it like for 200 hours or whatever, you know.
I'd say
Yeah.
probably not if it's the way you're describing. Yeah.
I'm really worried,
Yeah.
but the thing is like even if the objectives are monotonous, if the gameplay's fun,
Yeah.
that kind of counteracts that, right? Because like, you know, I use the example like Destiny, like the stuff you do in Destiny isn't necessarily interesting, but
Yeah,
the
true.
gameplay's so good that it's like, okay, I'm having fun playing this, even if like this, you know, the strike story or whatever is nonsense, and you know, I'm killing like 50 enemies or whatever. At least the killing is fun,
Yeah.
taking down the enemies. And so this does look fun. Like the skill trees they're showing, like it looks good, I think, ability wise. But yeah, I don't know. I was definitely not. I'm not as hot on the game now as when as before this reveal. So
The ironic thing is that like even though I'm like, yeah, I can see the problem, it's combining Wildlands, Destiny, and like Far Cry, right?
Mhm.
Which like a lot of those games I enjoyed. So I feel like
Yeah,
I
no,
will still
exactly.
enjoy this. I think I will, but I can definitely understand the issue that people are gonna have with this. I could definitely see the issues that people are gonna have with this
And
because
that's why people were so cold on it. Like I know, I guess maybe it was Luca who was in our chat saying like, "Oh, everyone's
That was
putting
me.
ZZZ." Oh, there was you putting ZZZ.
Yeah, I was watching the. Yeah, I was just watching a recording of the live stream
recording
of
with the
this.
stream,
People were just
yeah.
like yawn, zzz,
But
L.
to be
Yeah.
fair, to be fair, they might have been saying yawn because they say yawn to every game. Like on it, like
Yeah.
I feel like most games they say yawn
But
to is
the gameplay, like this trailer got uploaded after the fact, had a 50% dislike ratio.
damn, really?
Yeah, yeah.
See, that's what I
50%.
mean because
That's insane.
I think maybe I'm not sure if that's actually how the game is going to be, where it is like checklisty, open world, go kill this boss to kill this boss to open up this section of the map. But the way they presented it makes it seem like that's how it's going to work,
I
and that's
really
the only
hope.
thing.
I
I
can
really
see that
hope
now.
it's not. I really hope it's not because if it is, that would suck.
Mm.
Like
It really would. It really would. But I mean, for people doing, you know, playing, running through
enjoyable.
missions with arcane style gameplay, like that doesn't sound too bad. I'm
Here's-
just not as high on it as I was, I think.
this is something that is not about this game, but it sort of is. 4-player co-op
Mhm.
like annoys me sometimes because it's always like you get a person gets left out of friend group. Sometimes no one gets left out of friend group, right? But like you sit there, and sometimes it happens, right? There's never like a magical number, which is really weird. But 4-player co-op, it works, but like I wonder
There's
if
always 5 of us.
well, the thing I wonder is that in endgame, in late game, if they're gonna pull some stuff where you can do more people and it's harder content. I wonder if they're gonna do stuff if there is like an actual live service looter shooter type of situation. If they're actually gonna do something like that.
Well, I do think the fact that they are introducing 2 more characters later on, like that's 6. That's a
It
raid
does.
team in
That
Destiny.
does
Like,
seem like it. Yeah.
um, but I I don't even know if it's gonna be, if people are gonna jive with this enough to the point where they continue to pump content into it. But I guess like I don't know. I'm sure with Game Pass, like I'm sure it'll have like 10 million people on the first week, and then a
Oh,
month later it would be like, oh, 20 million people have tried Redfall. So they'll have the people, like they'll have
Mhm.
the player base just by kind of by default with Game Pass.
Yep.
But it's just the staying power is I honestly hope it isn't like that, where it's like, okay, this is day one, week one for Redfall, but here's a roadmap of what's coming month one, month two, month three. Here's
Yeah,
6 months
100%.
down the road. Here's a year. Here's an expansion coming. I don't really want that, and I kind of selfishly, I'm like, there's so many live service games that I don't really need another one. And so I
Yeah,
would
I
be
get that.
okay if this was like a campaign that's self-contained that I can kind of jump out of afterwards.
Just want to play a
Yeah,
game,
100%.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I'll talk about it later, but the 2 games I've been playing this week, like they're 12 to 15 hours and I'm done, and there is replayability there, but that's it. I love that. I love that I can just play a game for under 20 hours and then don't have to like live in it.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is maybe Xbox trying to kind of have their own sort of Destiny-like experience, even though it's it doesn't really resemble it in any way other than the gear
No.
score and it possibly being live servers. I don't know. That's that was my hot take. Maybe not so hot because I feel like a lot of people are kind of iffy on
On
this
the same
game now
page.
after this reveal. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Didn't Ubisoft have Division? Was Ubisoft developer Division?
Yeah, Ubisoft made Division. Yeah,
No, there you go. There you go. Okay. And they're going
you
for
didn't know
another one.
that?
No, I just forgot because I got really confused because like they already have Division, but Division did kind of die. So it didn't do too
Oh yeah,
well.
but this is Xbox.
Oh, true. That's a good
Yeah,
point.
this isn't Ubisoft.
There is so many live service games coming out now.
So many. And
yeah.
but I don't see, once again, they haven't been exactly clear on if this is something that will be
It's gonna be
truly
like-
live service or it's just there's like the gear score is just an easy way to show progression. Some games do that.
What
I
was
think I'd
that?
be
It's not
okay with that if
necessarily
it had
like-
like a clear finish rather than it trying to
that-
continue on. But yeah, I have a feeling it's gonna keep going.
Was that like Outriders? Right? Outriders, was that the game that was called? That had...
Outriders was a game where it was like, yeah, there is endgame stuff, but you don't
Yeah.
have to do it.
Yeah,
And
but it
Nathan
had
and I
the
didn't do
going.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we stopped
We-
playing the second that
just did-
campaign
we
was
just
done.
did the campaign and that was it. And then a year
Yeah.
later they released a campaign like DLC and we didn't play it.
Yeah.
It was like, you know what? We were happy after the end of Outriders campaign.
remember that
Like,
last
okay, we're
level?
done. No, I
Right.
don't. I think it's one of those like PTSD trauma things that I've
We had to
scratched
turn
my
the
memory.
difficulty down to as easy as it could get.
Oh my god, no, that's
Right, it was
right.
so
Yeah, that
long.
was. Oh man, that was so bad. I hate
It's
when
really
games do
bad.
that,
Yeah.
where they're just like, okay, we're gonna ramp up the difficulty to the point where you need to hate yourself. Yeah, God damn it.
And it was
Did
so
you have-
easy the rest of the game too. Anyway,
Didn't
we're not here
you
for
have the
that.
same thing with Wildlands? Oh, not Wildlands. Sorry. What do you go? Warlords of New York in Division 2, Jamie. Final
Oh
mission.
my god, I've got dude, Warlords of New York. That final mission. I mean, that had to be like meant for a group because playing that solo was like, I want to die. Like, I want this to be over. This
You really
sucks. It was so bad.
Anyway.
I don't think we're going to talk a lot about Elder Scrolls Online because
Yeah.
fucking none of us play this because we don't live in the world of Tamriel. I did buy this game, unfortunately, and I played
me
a little
too.
bit of ESO. I didn't mind it, but this expansion, I think I need to play like 2,000 hours to get to it. So like,
Doesn't surprise me.
but I guess the big thing that they revealed was like sort of at the end where they're like, hey, you can play all the chapters and the over 20 DLC that I paid for. You can there you go, you get it for free, but it's limited time. So
Yeah.
quickly get on that if you really want to play Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, dude.
There it is. I think you have to have Game Pass too. I think it's a Game Pass kind of deal. But yeah, that's Elder Scrolls Online. Hey, anyone who's excited for Necrom, enjoy that. I'm sure there's a lot to talk about. Let's talk about it, dude. Let's talk about the real banger. It wasn't Redfall. It wasn't Forza Motorsport. It fucking definitely wasn't Elder Scrolls Online. So they kind of dropped this out of nowhere, which is a little game called Hi-Fi Rush, which they're just like, here's a new game. Like, we're gonna show you 4 games, but hey, we've got a 5th game. And then they were like, oh yeah, we're also dropping it today. So this came out after the developer direct, and what do you think of it, Nathan? You played a little bit, right? What did you think
I've
of
played up to the first, just after the first boss, which is probably like an hour and a half, maybe. Yeah, no, I really like it. I think it's good. I mean, it's got great ratings. I don't think I've played enough yet to like really pass on it, but I think the concept, and I've like had a really quick look at the unlocks you can get. I think once you get really good at it, it could be very satisfying.
And it is satisfying. So
Yeah.
I guess we'll transition now into what we've been playing because I have been playing Hi-Fi Rush. And I'm about, I want to say I think I'm on level 8. They call it, there's like a track list. It's track 8 out of 10, I think. So I'm nearly done with it. And I've played about 6 or 7 hours. So I think it's going to be under 10 hours overall to beat it, which is I love, obviously. And you are right. Like once you start getting new abilities, and they keep kind of showering you in abilities, like and new things to buy, and just general like you get a parry, which is like kind of later in the game, and then that becomes kind of like one of your main tools because there's some enemies you need to parry to defeat easily, I guess. But the real, so obviously scratch that, go back. For anyone who doesn't know what Hi-Fi Rush is, this, think of it as like a Devil May Cry slash Bayonetta action, character action game, but instead of just being able to do combos normally, uh, you basically time your combos with the beat in a way that, I mean, a game that you played, Seto, BPM,
Yep.
which was a shooter where you would shoot to the beat. Another game that does that is Metal Hellsing, which came out last year. But this is, and correct me if I'm wrong, the first like action, like character action game that has done this, where timing to the beat is sort of the crux of this, of the whole point of the kind of gameplay loop.
I think
And
so.
it's super satisfying. It is so satisfying when you hit the right timing and do these insane combos. And then you've got these enemies who are like super powerful and you parry the shit out of them. It's like, I mean, the way I think this is actually tougher to me to play than like Sekiro was in
Mm.
terms of getting really good at it. Where like you can play it and sort of, you don't have to, I mean, the cool thing about this game is you don't actually have to time it at all to actually play it. Because the way the combos work, it's always on beat. It's just, it'll tell you at the end of a mission, like, oh, your timing was like 60% or 70%. But you can still just play it normally as you would any character action game. It's just not, you're obviously not going to have a great timing score, which means you won't get like a higher rating at the end. Um, but the benefit of doing the combos in time with the beat is that you do more damage. So the game is easier if you're hitting it in time. Basically, the main crux of the combos are, you've got a light attack, a heavy attack. Light attacks, you can do them once every single beat, and then heavy attacks you do them every 2 beats. And then obviously you'll get a bunch of combos that where you mix them together. You also get some characters who are your friends who kind of are introduced into those combos as well. It's super deep, like way deeper than I thought it was going to be, because you unlock the parry really late, and it sort of becomes like your main tool basically for the rest of the game. And the parry is super satisfying. There's some enemies that'll be like, it'll give you like a sequence of buttons to hit for the parry, and you got to be really quick. Like, and if you miss it, you die basically. So it's super tough. Like there is some difficult, definitely some really tough engagements and fights with like there's this robot that is like a samurai looking thing, and he sort of he does this. You hear this tune where he's charging up, and then you'll see like a small like twinkle where his sword is, and you basically have to immediately hit parry because he's like running toward you basically in like one quick swipe. And it's just getting these combos down and feeling the rhythm that you just get this like zen moment in the game. And Nathan, I don't know if you've felt that yet in the first level, but later on it basically becomes like this weird, like in a way that Sekiro was like a rhythm game, this is literally a rhythm game.
Mhm.
And it's great. It's awesome. It is so unique, and I haven't even talked about the style or anything, but it's super super zany, like Sunset Overdrive kind of style to me.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of too.
Yeah, 100%.
So beautifully animated. Like the animations are so crisp. It runs perfectly on PC. Um, I can't say enough good things about it. Honestly, like it's such an easy sell to me because it's on Game Pass,
Mm.
and it's not necessarily something that I would pick up. Right? Like when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, this looks cool." Like I kind of dig the idea of the whole like doing combos and fighting to the rhythm. But the fact that it's on Game Pass, I was like, I mean, I got to try this. I got to give this a
Yeah,
shot.
I wouldn't have bought it if I'm honest, but I'm playing
But
it.
it's great. It is
Yeah.
crazy good. It is crazy good. And I think this, like, I'm nearly the end. I would be shocked if this is not in my top 10 of the year, or like easily. It's so
Mm.
good. It is so good. So yeah, if you haven't tried Hi-Fi Rush yet, you got it. You got to stop. Pause the podcast right now and
And if
download
you
it
had Game Pass
immediately.
before, you can get it for the low price of $1.
$1.
It's true. That's true. We're not salesmen for Game Pass, but I mean, it
It is
feels
worth
like it
it.
because it's just.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the insane service, right? Like,
Yeah.
Now, this game definitely, when I saw it, reminded me a lot of, as you said, BPM. BPM is basically this, but like roguelike version. Basically, same thing.
it's a
but
first-person shooter, though.
yeah,
It's
first
not
person
yet.
shooter, dodge to the beat, and you shoot to the beat, right? And like as soon as I saw this, I'm like, damn, yeah, that's gonna be a really good game, right? It's gonna be a really, really good game because like same thing when I first played BPM, I was like, it's okay. But then when you start going with the rhythm and when you start shooting with the rhythm, you hit attacks and parries and as you said, so and so and so forth. It just feels so good. It feels so
It's like
good.
it's a weird like psychological thing where
Yeah.
like without the beat, I couldn't pull off what I'm pulling off.
Mhm.
But it's just weird where like when you're doing it, your hands just start automatically doing the thing you need to do in a weird way. Where like even like some of the parry stuff, like just the getting the rhythm and the timing, it's just like sort of like an automatic thing. Like, okay, you gotta go boom 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 boom. Okay, I'll just do that real quick. And it's
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, I wouldn't like give me more time, I probably couldn't do it, but because I've got to act quickly, it's just kind of like it's almost like a reflex.
Reactive. Yeah. Exactly.
And I mean, like, I think this couldn't have worked if not for the style, which is so sick. Like, I love the art style. I love how it looks. It's almost like it's not exactly like Spider Verse, but it sort of has that, like, it's sort of like a Spider Versification of
Yeah.
like that animated look, and I really dig it. And it's just funny. Like there's moments that I've literally like actually openly laughed at because it's so clever and like there's this weird like almost anti like corporate kind of message there, and it's they're talking about like working long hours and all the employees are robots and they're like, oh, I had to I had to one of the robots I spoke, like, you literally just see these robots around this place that you're navigating, and you press B on them and they have like a funny little dialogue option that comes up. One of them was like, oh, I had to uninstall my legs so that I could put all my CPU to get this job done on time.
Oh my
And
god.
he's just on the ground, like his legs are working. He's like, but I'm not sure I'll be able to get back to my desk. And it's just these funny, like random little moments that are like, this shit is so good. Like it is so it's Bayzed when it comes to
It
like
is.
corporate
Yeah.
like work hours and like work
And I've
ethic
like
and stuff
heard like
that.
announcements over like the megaphones and stuff like
Yeah.
that, where it's like we've added an extra day to the week. You will not be paid for this
Dude.
extra day.
Dude, one of the robots was like, I got to work 6 days this week, but it's been Monday 5 days in a row.
Yeah.
It's oh man, it's great. It is. I fucking love this game. I love it with a passion and I want everyone to play this game because it's just it hits so hard,
Mhm.
and it's super unique. Obviously with the rhythm based kind of gameplay. And yeah, it's 10 hours. It's 10 hours of your time, and I guarantee you're gonna love it. Like it's a Jamie guarantee. Put it on the box.
And
Damn, that's a big sell.
It's a big sell. This game is awesome. I honestly think this market. I'm ready to put a bet on this. End of the year, Game Awards, Game of the Year. This will be one of the 5, guaranteed.
Yeah,
Not even a
maybe.
chance.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, I can see that.
There is
Big
it's
big
this
bet.
is the kind of shit that game critics love. Where
That
it's
is true.
unique, it's funny, came out of nowhere. It's surprising.
Oh,
Like
I love it when devs do that too. Oh, that's my favorite thing. Either like
noticed-
we're announcing this really soon, or hey, it's available right now.
yeah,
I've
we
noticed-
talked about that last week as well. Like
Yeah.
you were I don't know what you were referencing, but yeah, like the whole it was for Fallout 4, I think,
Yeah,
where
I loved it when they did
revealed
that.
it and then it was released like
4
4 months
months.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed Xbox has been doing all that kind of a decent amount recently, actually, where they kind of like will last couple of years at least. I've noticed that they will announce a game and then release it.
They
on
have
same
done
day.
that. Yeah, like a good example is last year they released Pentiment, which
That's
was
fine,
sort of
yeah.
like the 16th century kind of murder mystery game, which I
Mhm.
need to get back to, but was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
The 2 hours I played of it so far.
Mm,
That was
mhm.
another one where and I feel like this is one of those games where Game Pass really makes it easy for Microsoft to greenlight a game like this.
100%.
Yeah.
Although I think this isn't the best example because this was in development before Microsoft bought Bethesda, who then owns Tango Gameworks. And also, like, the fact that it was Tango who made this game. Like, they released, like, last year, they released, what was it? The one with the, came out in March. It was the one with, like, the hand signals. Ghost.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
oh,
man, what was
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
Hold on. I need to look this up. I need to look it up.
While you're going, but yeah, like that's like we talk about Game Pass a lot, and we say Game Pass a lot. But like this is one of the reasons why Game Pass is really good, where they can just do this, and it's free.
Talking about
right?
Ghostwire.
Ghostwire
that's right.
Tokyo. And I did not like Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah, no.
I got to be honest. I did not dig it that much. But Tango, before then, obviously did Evil Within, which is a survival horror game, which is they did 1 and 2, and they were great. But this is like as far away from that as possible. And it kills, man. Like I'm super impressed with this game, and I honestly could go on for hours, but I think we should move on to Ben. Just get your Overwatch stuff out of the way. Okay, get it out of the way.
So I have 2 minutes. Let's talk about Overwatch news quickly, and I'll start the timer now. Okay, so basically this week, people are leaning back already. Basically, this week, patch came out with Overwatch. Roadhog got nerfed finally. He has his one shot gone, which makes the game 10 times better. Sojourn has now hit 5 different nerfs, has not been killed yet, which is very, very frustrating. They also have nerfed Kiriko and Orisa. Orisa is just very frustrating to play right now because she is just easily the best bruiser tank that there is to actually play against and actually play with because she just does not die. Also, oh no, I have my timer. Don't worry, I have my timer.
It's important. It's important.
Double timer. Yeah, double timer. True. So finally, the other thing is that they actually brought out a developer update, and basically, they talked about ranks and how MR and SSR is a thing. Jamie, you actually might like this.
I won't.
Oh no,
I will, but it's not going to sell me. So I'm not coming back.
Basically,
what is it? What do they do?
What they talked about is the drastic difference between someone's MMR and SSR. So basically what your comp is versus what your MMR actually is. And there's been a lot of talks about basically them just making your SSR your MMR. So if you are like stuck in bronze, but your MMR is actually like gold, you'll just get launched to gold instead. And it'll just pull you straight up immediately. Yeah, it does make sense, doesn't it? So they talked about that. They also talked about like making more feedback and stuff like that into MMR and SSR. And then finally, they also talked about one shots and how annoying one shots can actually be and how they're actually going to change it. That's basically all that happened. In my experience, Overwatch is playing much better right now. However, Sojourn is still a piece of shit to actually play against. I still have 11 seconds left, and the last 11 seconds I'm going to talk about is basically Widow sucks. It's really frustrating to play against. The one shot needs to be gone because 5v5 does not work anymore, and that is 2 minutes right there.
Yay!
Done.
Yeah, I mean, I would just quickly say I don't think I'm ever gonna go back to Overwatch. I don't think there is. I don't think that they could literally make it a 2v2 immersive sim strategy game, and I'd be like, you know what? Still not coming back. You guys completely flip it to something completely different.
That MMR change does like. I probably won't make me come back alone, but it's a good step.
Yes,
it's a very good step.
Don't say something you can't take back.
One thing I was going to ask guys, PvE, would you guys actually go like the PvE?
I got to pay for it though.
Yeah.
Oh, true. I forgot that's
going to cost money.
Yeah.
Actually, will it? Is it going to cost money?
I don't know.
Because the idea was that Overwatch 2 was going to be like a full like $80 game, and then they made it free to play.
Yeah, Overwatch 2 was supposed to be was that they're supposed to leave the PvP and PvE at the same time, but they just released the PvP first. Basically, that's what they've done. So I don't know if they're actually going to like make the PvE cost money, right? But like, I was wondering, will you boys actually come back? Because he's like, you hate the PvP, understandable, it sucks shit. But would you come back to the PvE?
The problem with the PvE so far is that I don't know if it's going to be. I mean, I'm going to try it, sure.
Yeah.
But. It's also 4 players only. It's 4 players.
It's anything like those holiday events though. I found those kind of boring.
but the thing is that is what it looks like.
Yeah.
It looks like those
the-
holiday events, but like there's like 100 missions or something.
Yeah, so basically, you remember the Halloween hallway event where it was
Yeah,
like
that's
that
the one I'm
small
thinking of.
story to go through? It's
Yeah, that's the one I got on my mind.
it's basically it's similar to that, but imagine that, but like the skill layout of like something, I don't know, like a Diablo game or some shit like
Yeah,
that.
that is
right.
that. I was gonna say that is the saving grace is that you do upgrade your characters over time,
Yeah,
and they
I like
are
that.
more powerful than in PvP.
They are
Yeah.
much more
Um,
powerful.
But oh man, I don't know how repetitive it's gonna be.
That's
Because they
what
said
I'm
they're,
worried
they're
about. Right?
working on like 100 missions or something.
Yeah, but the thing is,
But
you
like,
want to hear the scary thing for me,
what's
and
that?
this very scary thing, and we can move on after this. And this is very funny, is that they've talked about Overwatch 2 as like the PVE, and they talked about like, how big it's going to be. But then recently, they started referring to it as a campaign instead, and just straight up a campaign. So they might have just like scrapped some shit from the stuff they done, and that's like really funny because they always refer to it as like PVE, Overwatch 2 PVE. But the last couple of like dev blogs and whatnot, they said it the Overwatch 2 campaign.
It'd be like a 6-hour
Okay.
story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So they
That
completely
actually, okay, that actually might be better though. For
It's
me,
to
free.
be honest, yeah,
if it's free, it's not gonna be free. It'll be. I mean, what? See, I wonder if they've maybe broken up PVE into something that they're gonna release piecemeal, like each season now.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe
Because like,
it might.
if they release the entire PVE mode, but then they've still got the seasonal stuff. Because then, like, the PVE crowd has the entire game, and then they kind of finish it, and they're like, "Oh, okay, that's it." And then I just go, like, I go away.
Yeah.
There's nothing
Mhm.
else for me season to season.
Yeah.
So I feel like, aren't they meant to be adding PVE to season 3?
This,
Didn't they say the first season of
so-
2023 that we're going to add PVE
So
stuff?
season 3 is the start of basically the big changes for PVE. That's when season 3 is the start of all the big changes. As
So
well as
next,
fully
so in a week there should
In
be
a-
PVE in the game.
start, yes, and then apparently
Okay.
it finishes all off at like season 5 or season 6 or something like that. I don't remember.
They would be done with.
No. But I mean, like it all comes
Done.
out season 5, season 6.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Don't quote me on that, but I remember reading something about that. But I know it starts season 3. I know season 3 is like when all the big changes start. So yeah. But you know.
I really wonder what the player base of Overwatch 2 is now. I'm
You wanna-
curious.
how much?
I mean, they don't reveal like actual stats.
They don't reveal numbers. Yes.
No.
I do. Apparently, it is doing well. Like it is doing really well. But I know that's compared to like end of Overwatch 1 or that like peak Overwatch 1. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
apparently, it is doing.
Man,
apparently it
how
is
many players did it? What was their last number? Wasn't it like 10 million?
But
Overwatch 2.
something like that. But like the
I
thing,
feel like they said like there's been 20 million people who have played Overwatch.
but there is
2.
definitely the issue with Overwatch, and this is like I think the biggest issue is that like there's just it's so hollow. That's the issue. It's so hollow.
25
right?
million people.
Yeah,
25
and like
mil.
I'm not even like heroes are okay, one shots, like, nothing like that, but like it's very hollow. That's the issue with the game right now. And even like I love the game, but I know it's not good right now. I know it's not good. It's just very hollow and it's very annoying. But yeah, that's just the issue with Overwatch. But hopefully with season 3 and PvE and whatnot, hopefully they start fixing those issues. I doubt it, but hopefully they do.
I just think that like in terms of the Overwatch meta, it always goes from annoying hero at the center to annoying hero at the center.
Mhm.
Like
ever since Brigitte it was that. It was Brigitte, then
yeah,
it
like I
was
don't understand
Hulk,
why like the way
Echo.
that they do their balancing is like they bring up characters really really high. Like it's almost like it's like power creep where they're
Mm.
bringing up characters way above the other characters to try and balance out the annoying character who's out right now. But then a character becomes annoying, so it's like
This weird inflation that constantly happens
Yeah.
across the whole roster.
yeah, it's just constant like nerfing and buffing of stuff that like they're buffing in the first place, and then like okay, we're gonna nerf that now because we buff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I-
Like
I will say right now it's not really like that, which is nice. They're like trying to keep characters in line with each other, right? They're trying to do that because the old mindset was that every single start of the season they would like change characters around to like have like change the meta around and stuff like that.
but that's the
But-
problem is that it always happens at the beginning of a season, right?
Exactly.
They do the mid-season patch which fixes things, and so for a few weeks it's fine, and then the
Mhm.
next season comes out and there's some bullshit.
Yeah,
like-
exactly.
And it's
right?
weird because like apparently the next season's February 7th. So
Yeah,
like it's like
yeah.
next week, but the mid-season patch was like just this last like And the
Yeah, the late
the
season
dev
patch.
update says the 27th of Jan.
Yeah, this came out a couple of days before the patch actually came out. What do you call the one thing that
So
scares
it
me
was
else?
like it was
So
like today,
it was like yesterday. I'm pretty sure
yesterday,
yesterday. Yeah, or did this come out? It might have come out at the same time. But
right?
the one thing I'll say, and then we'll go into like Nathan.
Nathan's game. Nathan's game.
The one thing that I'm scared about is, and this is like something I just think is funny. They're not bringing out a hero next season, right? They're not doing it. You know how they said that they're not bringing out a hero
Hog.
next season.
Why is
right?
that?
I don't know, but you know how I don't know, but
They're
you know how
shutting
that
down
happens.
development. It's over.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because they can bring out a hero every season, but they said they still want to do hero changes. And you know, I told you like a long time ago, but
Oh,
the
I love
Hog
hero
rework,
changes.
the Hog rework that was supposed to come out. Apparently, that's supposed to come out in season 3, and I'm calling it now. Their whole thing with season 3 is be around how Hogs can get reworked. That's going to be the
No,
big
there's
thing.
no way the whole
No,
season is around
I'm
one
no,
character
but I
getting
mean
reworked.
the starting patch, like the big thing is gonna be Hog rework. I'm calling it right now. It's
This
going to
season, we have balancing.
We have
I- yeah,
changed a
be.
character.
I bet you
Balancing.
the whole like the whole like characters and like you know how they make a new hero. The big thing is gonna be the Hog.
But then it
rework.
begs the
I'm
question,
calling it.
like, if next week, supposedly, I feel like it's going to get delayed.
Yeah.
If next week there's going to be the season 3 patch and they're reworking Hog, why would they even bother reworking him this week? If next week he's going to be changed.
Because so basically this was like kind of like
This patch
how
got
do I
delayed,
explain
right?
So this was like a separation of it, but basically what's happening is the rework is supposed to be like adding like utility. It's a soft rework to add like utility and whatnot, so he's not so reliant on his hook, right? That's basically what it's supposed to be. So this is like kind of like what his base kit is, and they're going to add like utility on top of what it is now, if that makes sense.
Right.
That's the idea of it. That's the idea. But yeah, I don't know. But that's my prediction is that next season they're somehow going to try to base it like around or have a big thing being that Hogs being reworked. I'm
Well,
calling it.
I mean, I guess if they're not doing a new character, right? That's probably because there is going to be PvE stuff.
Yeah,
right?
maybe
Like maybe that's going to be the focus. Is that
Yeah.
if because they said like first season 3 is when PvE in Overwatch 2 begins.
They did state that, yes.
So
yeah, but we'll have to wait and see.
well, let's wait and see. Stay tuned for next week. Although it's probably not going to. I feel like it's going to get delayed. Like for instance, and, you know, obviously, Activision has Call of Duty. They just delayed season 2 for Warzone and Modern Warfare 2 from like Feb 1st to like I don't know. I actually don't know when they delayed it to, but it's a couple weeks after. So yeah, Overwatch is Overwatch. I feel like to me it's just mind numbing. That's the problem. Is that it's become so samey, and if I don't like the general loop, I feel like I'm never gonna like it. You know, like there's moments where I'm like, oh, this is kind of fun. It was honestly when we were running in 2s. Like I feel like when we run a 5-stack, it's like I want to pull my fucking hair out.
Hell.
Because it's like Jesus. Like I don't. You know, just 5-stacks in that game are not fun to verse and not fun to be a part of. I don't think.
I just need
I
to
think low player
I
counts.
think this takes 5 minutes.
That's all right. So yeah, Overwatch 2. Fuck it. Get out of here.
Fuck it.
Fuck it. Talk about a better game. A better game. Go back to a different age.
We are
The
going
age
back.
of 2. That's right. That's what I
25
thought.
years?
Hell yeah, dude.
30 years? I don't know. It's been a fucking long time.
Graphics better than Overwatch 2.
Yeah, so last week I talked about playing, this is Donkey Kong Country 3 on screen right now, if you're watching the screened version. Last week I talked about playing Donkey Kong Country 2. So I said I was pretty much right at the end. Here's me. I'm on me SNES. I get right to the end of the game. I'm literally playing the boss fight.
And
game freezes, assets start disappearing and flickering. I'm like, okay, this is pretty normal for like, you know, SNES era shit when things go wrong.
yeah.
Turn the game back on, all the saves are wiped from the cartridge.
Oh my god.
So
So
I launch up the Switch Virtual Console version of the game, and I have like all of the game still like partially memorized in my head from when I just played it. So I rail through the whole thing in like less than 3 hours.
no joke, I would have literally said, I'm gonna watch the rest of this on YouTube. It's like that sucks. I guess it's not very long though, right? How long is?
Yeah, I think. Well, this is a like 103% playthrough, so that's like the full, and it's only 4 hours long for this game.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
I think it's only 3.5 the other one, and this isn't even a speed run. This is just a.
So Donkey Kong 2 fucked up.
Yes, it did. Yeah. So
And
now
so
I'm
then you-
playing Donkey Kong Country 3. Well, actually, I finished playing it. I completely finished it. I played this on Switch Virtual Console as well. It's just way more responsive than the Switch is than like really old hardware. I mean, as
Oh,
you can
really?
imagine, yeah. It's
I guess that makes sense.
it's emulating it, and your controls are going straight through it rather than you having to wait for the AV on the TV. And I don't know.
Right.
Yeah,
So
it's just
tell
slow.
me, what's the big change with Donkey Kong Country 3 over 2? Because as I said, I haven't played any of these.
One
I'm
is like
curious.
the OG Pog. I think I'm gonna play it again because I miss it. 2 for me is my favorite because it's like a big step over. I feel like they just like grabbed all the really fun and cool things from number 1 and added like a bunch more, like, I don't know, they're called like gimmick levels, I guess you could call them. Just like different fun kind of levels that have like a different themes, and like you have to do different things to get through them.
Right.
And then there's number 3, which is my least favorite of all of them, unfortunately.
Is
They
it because you're playing as a girl?
no, Dixie's in 2. So
Okay.
yeah,
Sorry.
Kitty's there. He's a big fat boy.
Where is he? That guy? The one
Yeah, the
next-
one
oh,
following
be-
Dixie.
Bro, I thought that was
That's Kitty
Donkey Kong. Like, he looks a little different in the third one.
What happened to you, donkey?
Why is he wearing blue?
Yeah. Anyway, they got a
Oh wait,
the
hold
original.
on.
Yeah. What?
Why? Where's Donkey Kong?
Well, he's only in the first one.
What?
And then he gets captured, and in the second one you have to save him from King K. Rool.
And then
And then he's chilling.
he
And now
dies?
no, he's not dead. He's just chilling.
Holy shit, he's dead. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to, I was just wondering where he was. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, they still have the old composer for this one, but they got a new one to do. I feel like a majority of the music, it's definitely doesn't slap as hard. It's not as good. It's still good, but and anyway, there's like, I feel like the gimmick levels in this game are a little more, I don't know, like shit.
Yeah, so like what's an example of a shit gimmick level? Like is this a gimmick? Or is this okay?
I don't. This could probably be considered a normal level.
Right.
Just because it's these barrels
Oh my
are
God, this
pretty kind of
is-
normal. This is just like a mini game kind of part. That you're
Oh,
watching
okay,
now,
that
yeah.
makes sense. Yeah,
they're
okay.
like little bonuses that you get coins from. But yeah, normal levels I'd say are where you just like run from left to right, and there's just like normal stuff like barrels that you blast through and like all that sort of stuff. But gimmicky ones would be like ones where there's like a race involved and you have to win the race to complete the level, or like you're riding like a minecart or something like that.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
wait, the minecart level's not good in this?
There aren't any minecart levels. There's
Oh, okay.
snowmobile levels in this one. Not like snowmobile, but like
Oh,
snow sled.
nice.
Yeah.
And they're not very good.
Yeah, they're okay. I just don't
Yeah.
think they're as good as the first two.
Right.
It just doesn't slap as hard. And the boss fight in this one, in my opinion, is kind of boring. And it was just very
Right.
slow. It was a lot of waiting around and like barely any memorization or skill. It was just a lot of waiting, sitting. Oh, time to do something.
Oh yeah, no, that sucks.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my that was my
So Donkey
adventure
Kong
of
Country
corrupted
update.
saves.
Are you gonna do the other Donkey Kong games?
Um,
You think?
is Returns on Switch?
No.
Yeah,
Returns is on it was on the Wii, wasn't it? Or the DS?
the Wii.
The Wii, yeah.
Yeah.
It
I might go
was
back
there
to
a,
it.
was there a Donkey Kong game on the Wii?
The
No,
what?
Wii U. On the like the original Wii. Because I know the Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze was on
Yeah, Tropical Freeze was
Wii
Wii
U.
U Switch. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think the Wii was Returns. Yeah,
There you go.
I might just emulate it. But yeah, I might play them. I just don't prefer them over the old ones, to be
OG.
honest with you. Yeah,
Yeah, that's fair enough.
just something about like the snappiness of the controls. But the graphics of the new ones do look good.
Yes. Yeah, these dude, the aliasing on the bananas. Look
The
at that. Look at
banana.
that. No, but I'm glad you're enjoying and going back to the OGs. Speaking of OGs, you were playing another OG.
Yeah, you want me to go straight into my other
Yeah,
OG
go
game?
straight into the
Yeah,
other
alright.
OG. Yeah, why not?
I'm playing at
We
the
do
moment
the OG block.
Banjo Kazooie. This
Hell
is like everyone knows Banjo Kazooie, man. Like, also if you haven't heard Donkey Kong Country, there's something wrong with you too. But like everyone knows Banjo
Yeah,
Kazooie.
Banjo Kazooie definitely in the mainstream sort of of gamers. You know, everyone knows. You're right. Everyone knows Banjo Kazooie.
Yeah, like while I decided to get onto the Switch Virtual Console, I decided to look through what they had in the 64 and SNES, and also I think they have Dreamcast or something like that in Virtual Console as well. Yeah,
Huh.
some other Sega console.
There you go.
Yeah, and I saw Banjo-Kazooie is like, oh, whatever, I'll just play it. It's a short-ish game. I think it's only like 5 hours if you just play it. Rather
Without
than
the
trying to
collect,
100%
how
it.
much is with all like the collectathon stuff? Because I know there is
It's not
quite a
that
bit of
long.
collecting. Oh,
Yeah.
really? Yeah.
Probably like 8, maybe.
I always
I don't know,
forget that
8 hours.
like older games, they're not as long. They just made them difficult a lot of the
Yeah,
time.
yeah. But no, yeah, I mean, Banjo-Kazooie is just straight up a collectathon game. You literally just go from level to level collecting all of the shit that's in the level. Like there's
So is it
5 of
similar
these
to
weird
like?
things, and there's like 100 like notes that you have to pick up in each level. Anyway, what were you saying?
I was gonna say, it's similar to like Mario 64 and because there is like a collecting. I guess I guess they're more level based in Mario 64.
Yeah, they have
so.
objectives to get
Yeah,
stars. Some of them are collecting based, but this whole game is literally just collect the things. And obviously to collect certain things, you have to do like certain bosses in the levels or
Right.
whatever. But
Yeah, gotcha.
yeah, and no, this
It
is
looks
an
cute.
OG. Yeah,
You know, it looks good. It still looks good. It holds up.
it
You know?
does. Yeah, and
I
this
would actually
wasn't
love a remake of this.
actually. You know what? I'm pretty sure this game came out between Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3.
Really?
Yeah, because
Oh my god.
if not, it would have been the same year as 3. But they were releasing SNES games side by side, 64 games for quite a lot. I didn't actually realize this until I was playing 3, and I heard the Mario 64 music as a reference in Donkey Kong Country 3, and I was like, wait, what?
Wait,
This came out
what?
after that game?
Wait, so they released Donkey Kong Country 3 on the SNES
Yeah.
after
And
the 64 was out.
yeah, 6 months after Mario 64 came out or some shit like that.
That is so weird.
Yeah, it is. It was a different time. It's very weird.
That's crazy, yeah. Because obviously, like these days, when a game comes out on a previous console, it comes out on the new gen
Yeah.
consoles as well. Because the architecture is the same.
Exactly.
But because obviously N64 was so different compared to SNES, they were like, well, shit, we're developing this for the SNES. We're not gonna fucking move it to N64 where every game is like 3D.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that was the new thing. Like, yeah, that makes sense. That's crazy. It's like I think God of War 2 on the PS2 came out like a month before the PS3 came out.
Damn.
And because it's just they were developing it and it just came out and then it was just that year. It's like, I mean, it's even like Last of Us, like 1
That's true.
came out the same year that the PS4 came out because it was 2013. So it does happen, you know, even now, but it's a little less common, I guess, because the architectures are so similar. But that's funny. That's really crazy.
Yeah, comparing this to Donkey Kong Country, it's like Jesus.
How do you think Banjo-Kazooie feels like? Like, does it hold up in terms of game feel? Do you think?
No. Personally, no.
I was gonna say, I wonder if it does.
It's a shit to control. Like, it's just bad.
I think there's a I think there was a 360 port of Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, because Rareware is owned by Microsoft now.
Yeah.
Or for a while at least.
Yeah, so I wonder if that version feels better than the emulated
Possibly. Yeah.
Switch online one.
I think it was a lot around like the input of the Nintendo 64 controller and like what the console was even capable of getting from the controller.
Right.
I just don't think it was able to get that much like analog data, or maybe the game wasn't designed to have, because you know, like when you move in a game, you've got anywhere from 0 to 100 on your like thumbstick. This is like maybe like 30, 60, 100. So
right,
like, you're
so
moving,
there's no like there's no like fine-tuned. Yeah, okay, gotcha.
They're like really big
like,
jumps. Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
it looks cute. I like how it looks.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't, I mean, obviously, you know, it looks like an N64 game, but I like the it's got some style to it.
Yeah.
Sure, look at him. He's
holds
so
up.
happy to get that jigsaw piece. Hell yeah.
What about you,
got a
Jamie?
jigsaw piece if you just lately. Well, you know, while you've been in the classics, I've also, I mean, in the classics, but it's a little bit less classic than Banjo-Kazooie. I've been playing okay, here's the thing, right? So obviously we were going to record this on Thursday. I was like, I need something to play while I wait for Dead Space. Why not just play Dead Space? So I played the original Dead Space. Oh man, that is not a game you should play on PC now. It was not built to be played at 4K resolution. It wasn't built to be played at above 60 FPS, because literally the physics go fucking crazy.
Yeah, all games do that.
So for some reason, every single body would move to the right, constantly moving. Now this caused issues.
Oh yeah.
Because when it would hit a wall, it was constantly colliding. And so there were some rooms where I would drop below 30 FPS because it was a million collisions happening all at once, like constantly. And I couldn't finish the game because at the end you need to move a object through an area, but that object has physics attached to it. So when
Yeah, no.
Isaac got close to it, the whole thing, so it's meant to be on like a rail, the whole thing would start levitating and would levitate through a wall. And I would have to restart. And I was like, this is literally unplayable. I can't finish this game. So
You
I
need
just
to get the
looked.
Windows Vista fucking virtual machine out to play this.
So I just I didn't finish it, but I looked at the ending on YouTube to
Yep.
remember what happened. And now I'm playing the remake, and oh man, this is so good. It is so good. Like Seto, you played the Resident Evil 2 remake, right?
I did. Yes.
This is better.
This is better.
This is by far the best horror remake I've ever played.
Oh damn! Okay, that's a take. Okay.
It is so good. It is basically borderline perfect. Everything that, because obviously like Dead Space played fine, even though it was from 2008. It still played. It didn't actually need that much, gameplay tuning. Like the gameplay of the remake is basically how it plays in the 2008 version. A lot of the differences is that they brought some of the stuff from Dead Space 2 back into Dead Space remake. So an example of that is in the original Dead Space, you couldn't impale necromorphs with their own hands. In this, you can do that, and it's fucking awesome. As I said, it's always the coolest shit being able to use your kinesis, grab a necromorph claw, and just go and send it straight through a necromorph's sternum. It is sick. It is so cool, and they just get pinned to the wall. It's great.
So I have a question for you.
Go ahead. Ask away.
Resident Evil 2 Remake is like one of my favorite games. Like one of mine. I love that game. What makes this remake better than that remake? Why is this better?
So Resident Evil 2 Remake, and correct me if I'm wrong, is all of the content from Resident Evil 2, but brought forward to a third-person shooter vibe like Resident Evil 4, right? There's no new content in the game. It's just the content of Resident Evil 2, but brought forward new gameplay.
Was there the branching storylines in Resident Evil 2? I don't know.
There is the A and B in Resident Evil 2.
Okay, cool.
Leon and Claire. Yeah, you do that in. I think it's, and I'm pretty sure, and I'm sure someone will correct me, the scene with the child, that might be new. There's a whole sequence there.
It's a branching like storyline with like a DLC that goes off with that. So I think that is probably new because there's an entire DLC that came with that. So yeah.
So that might be new. But I will say the thing that this gets so right is that it makes a lot of smart micro decisions that make the first game so much better. In terms of, and there is new stuff, obviously. There's side quests that aren't in the original, because there weren't any side quests. It was all mission based. So for one, the structure of the USG Ishimura is completely explorable.
Oh wow! Okay.
So you can, instead of having to go from level to level, you can go back to. So for instance, in chapter 2, you go to medical. In chapter 4, you go to mining. From mining, you can walk to medical if you wanted to.
Wow.
There is still the tram system. So in the first game, you would basically use the tram system to get from level to level. And then at the end, it would have this corny like chapter 2 complete. And then it would say chapter 3 and have the title. The chapters are seamless now. So you don't have the loading times. There's no loading times at all. If you don't die, basically you can play the game from the jump all the way through single camera like God of War style. Does not move, doesn't cut at all.
Okay.
Completely open world, open to discover. And the cool thing is there's lots of discoverability in terms of there's some doors that may have different security clearances. And so throughout the campaign, you will unlock these security clearances, which then prompts you to go back to other areas to then get upgrades, to get gear, to whatever you need. And so like I'm up to, I think, chapter 8 out of 12. So I'm nearly done with it. I've played I think I'm 8 hours in. And it's like, it is Dead Space 1, right? The main crux of it is there. It's the same game essentially. But it is those decisions that they've changed. Like for instance, in the original, there was this moment where you needed to go out of the USG Ishimura and you had to like dodge a meteor shower. And that section fucking sucks. It's like, it does not hold up at all. It is so lame. It's super slow. What they've done in the remake is instead of like dodging the meteor shower, you go out in the same kind of trench layout and you're like directing cannons to shoot the meteors to calibrate them.
Okay.
It's way cooler. It's way better. It's a really cool like breakneck kind of sequence because obviously in this game, if you don't know, when you're in 0G without oxygen, you've got a timer, so it's time based. Like you're seeing on screen now, that works out pretty well.
Mm.
And also, like in terms of just some of the story stuff, like they start introducing some of the Dead Space 2 storyline a little bit in Dead Space 1. Like there's this sort of this church called the Church of Unitology, which is sort of these are the people that worship the necromorphs. It's not really a spoiler. It's Dead Space 2 kind of stuff.
Spoilers.
It's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler. I swear.
Can't believe it.
They start introducing the Church of Unitology in Dead Space 1 now, as opposed to it just being a thing in Dead Space 2. So there's a lot more connected tissue. Another example right now on screen, if you're watching the video, in Dead Space 1, when you're in 0G, you have to do these like point launches to corners of the map. So instead of you being able to freely move around the space, you like go to one surface and then you push off on that surface to the next surface. And it's just
kinda
like
a zip line type of thing.
yeah, exactly. Like you're just doing these sort of like launches from like wall to wall. But in this, it's like Dead Space 2 where you freely move around and it makes those sequences way cooler and way better. And obviously like not even discounting like the graphics, like this game looks gorgeous. Like it's super high detailed. You've got this system with the necromorphs called the peeling system where they like dynamically lose parts of their limbs as they're like it's similar to how Doom Eternal did it, where like you would shoot demon and parts of its skin would fucking rip
The
off.
peeling system.
The peeling system. And so yeah, like so obviously in this game you aim for the limbs because you want to fucking take off you need to kneecap them so they don't run at you fast, or get rid of their arms so they can't do attacks on you. And so yeah, like when you're like degrading their fucking limbs as they're coming off, it's super gross, but it's so sick. It's really cool. And that also adds to it when you just grab one of their arms and you just go and you fucking once again I'm the biggest proponent of fucking impaling necromorphs. It's the coolest shit.
So this game just did a lot of quality of life changes. What it sounds like, it just
tons of quality of life changes, and to be honest, like Dead Space was already an amazing game, but it just made an amazing game better in every way. Like it doesn't do anything worse. It only does stuff better.
Well,
and like
I love
this
it, so I might play it.
That's exactly it.
If you haven't played Dead Space, this is obviously the best way to play it, and it's perfect. It's like I love it. I love
now,
it. Now,
is this our sponsorship? Is this on Game Pass or is this have to be bought?
Not on Game Pass.
Unfortunate.
You can get it for $20 a month with EA Play Plus.
You can get the $20 of
Oh,
EA
it's on
Play
EA
Pro
Plus?
for 1
Okay.
month.
Okay, yeah.
And you get the best version of it because you get an exclusive like EA Play skin that you can't
That's a
get
good
with
point.
the Digital Deluxe, and you get all the skins. There's a really cool one of the like cosmetic skins you can get is like an infected version of Isaac, and his fucking head is missing. So like some parts of the game, he'll like take off his helmet when he's talking to other NPCs, and there's just I thought it was a bug when I saw it. I was like, what the fuck? And it's just you see his fucking spine like chopped, like it's just his head is in the helmet, still in the helmet.
That's funny.
Really funny.
It's great.
That's
They had a
really
lot of
funny.
fun, you can tell, with like some of the cosmetic stuff. And that's another thing, right? Is that Isaac talks in this. He didn't talk in the first Dead Space until Dead Space 2. He had a voice actor. So for this, they brought back the voice actor for Dead Space 2 and 3, and now he's voicing Isaac in Dead Space 1 remake.
That's very nice.
And that's good because like there's sometimes when I was playing the original where someone's brutally dying, and Isaac is just standing there with his plasma cutter, like
Stone Cold Killer.
Yeah.
like just not. And I'm like, you need to react to something. And to be fair, there are still a couple moments of that where he will just like he'll see someone brutally be murdered in front of him, and he'd be like he just doesn't try to react. Like he doesn't. There's no animation or anything.
The
So
Destiny
there's
trope,
stuff like that.
like the Destiny
What's that?
trope. Destiny trope, where they just
It is
sit
a
there.
little, yeah, it is a little bit like that. But yeah, man, they fucking nailed this. Like I couldn't ask for a better remake of a horror classic like this. And I think it goes to show how good Dead Space was in the first place. It just needed some of these changes. Like it didn't need a lot. Another system, just real quick, that I really like is there's these circuit breakers that are sort of strewn around the place, which are not in the original. And so you'll have to decide, like, do I want to turn off the lights or the oxygen? And you got to make that decision because you need to move the circuit to like a door that you need to open or an elevator you need to activate.
Okay.
And so you'll make these decisions and like, they could be, you might turn off the oxygen and there might be some oxygen places around to get to replenish it constantly, but there might not be. And so you've got to go through the area quicker, and you might make more mistakes, and that leads to death. And obviously the death animations are amazing. Like, they're so sick. I saw one on Twitter where there's these like sort of necromorphs that are just like, they remind me of the face huggers from Alien. And if they kill you, this face hugger looking thing just has like a head, like a necromorph head, and just tentacles, and it literally fucking rips off your head and digs into the fucking into Isaac's head, like spine, like the hole, and then starts controlling him, and then it cuts to black.
I do remember seeing that. I do remember seeing that. Yeah,
it's really like, it's super metal stuff, and it's really great. And yeah, I mean, even the story, like, there's some stuff in the side missions that kind of build out some of the story moments from the first game in cool ways that I think fans of Dead Space will really appreciate. But then also new people would be like, "Oh, that's cool! Like, I know that now." And this is easily the best version of this game, and it's well worth people's time. 100%.
One thing I'm noticing by watching the gameplay is that the lighting is phenomenal. Like I normally watch for a game's lighting, but like every room that they go into, the lighting's always different, but it always adds to the atmosphere.
So a big thing about this game, there's no baked lighting. It's all real time.
Oh, really?
Every single element of lighting. So it's using, I looked this up. It's using a software-based real-time global illumination. And it's also using its ray trace ambient occlusion. It's got real-time volumetric fog. Like, it looks, dude, there's some areas where it's just the room is full of fog, and it's really hard to see, and it's so sick when you put your flashlight up, and it really, like, it just, I mean, it looks phenomenal. Like, it is a really, really good looking game.
It does look really
good. I will say there is an issue right now with the game uses a variable rate shading, which, if you don't know, is just basically it will sort of lower the resolution on certain edges of your screen to increase performance. So you won't see it usually. In this game, it's a little heavy at the moment, and you can't turn it off on PC. So some of the stuff looks a little bit blurry, but they did tweet yesterday saying that there's a patch coming out next week that will fix that. So you'll be able to turn off that VRS on PC, which would be really nice. And also, if you're going to play it on console, for anyone out there who's only has a console, the PS5 version has like a stronger VRS, so it looks a little worse than the Series X version, but that's all. Still plays great. Still, you can play 60 FPS on those consoles, and obviously it runs really great on PC. Although I feel like I can't really say, like, it's kind of hard to say like, oh, this game is really well optimized, because
you're running a PC that is like the opposite of optimized.
Yeah. So I'm able to run it at like 4K, and it's mostly sitting around 90 to 100 a lot of the time. Sometimes it drops to 80, but for the most part, it's pretty well optimized at 4K, and even 1440p, it's great. So they've done a really good job with this. I highly recommend checking it out, especially as there's not a lot of new stuff to play at the moment. So
it's very good.
Said of this. And we're back. We just had some technical difficulties, and now we're back, and it's all good, and everything's perfect, and everything's right in the world. All the wars are over. So
whoa. Just like that, Russia stopped invading Ukraine.
Well, maybe not that one. Maybe not that one. The other, maybe some more minor ones that aren't well known, like the one with the cassowaries. Anyway, so last week we did a fantasy critic.
Yes,
and we had our initial draft, which was our 10 games each. But since then, there have been some changes. Now, do we want? Well, there have been 2/3 of us have changed. But that's fine. Hey, there's a whole year ahead,
I still can catch up.
Ben can still catch up. So
to recap, every week, every Saturday, we get like a bidding process that we can go, like, throughout the week, we can place bids on games, and then on Saturday it'll execute the bids. It's a blind auction. We don't know what the others have bid on it. Whoever bid the most on the game gets the game, basically. So that's what we've been doing. We've had 2 bid rounds now. So
2 Saturdays.
Yeah, 2 Saturdays since
Ben is behind, but that's fine. There are still more games out there. There's still games, and also Nathan and I we've nearly filled up our.
So you can see Ben here. He's still got 10 more games to bid to buy. I've got 2, and Jamie's got 1 more. So The ones that I bid on, so it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, everything after. So all of these ones that I've highlighted on my screen here, we'll go through them. The first one, Football Manager 2024.
When I saw that, I was like, "What the fuck? What? Did these review well?"
Yeah, they not bad.
They-
the last
they
one was an
don't get
80
bad.
something.
Football Manager
Football.
2023. Let's see what this got.
I've got it on my
Got a
table, I think.
respectable. It got a respectable 83.
Yeah,
That's
I
not
thought
bad at all. That's actually not too bad at all.
I bid $1 on it because I knew I was going to get it. So I thought, hey, not bad.
If you had told me that one of us was going to bet on Football Manager 2024, I would have said no fucking way, not a chance in hell. But here it is.
And then we've got F1 23, which is an F1 manager game.
This is a manager?
Yeah, wait, is that not? Oh, maybe
That's That's not a manager.
I don't fucking know.
That's not a manager. That's not a manager. That's a
Well,
full
this is a
game.
real game then. Anyway, the last one got an
A
81.
real game. Yeah, manager games not real games. We get.
The last one got an 81, so I thought I'll
There
go
you
for F1 23. Terra Nil, bit of a blind one for me, but we've seen the game before. We've seen a decent amount of it. There was a demo for it. I think there's still a demo out for it, isn't there?
Yeah, I don't think it goes
Yeah.
away. Yeah, it's still out.
It's a fun
It's
game. I
fun.
think it'll review pretty well. I don't think it'll do outstanding, but I think it'll do pretty well.
I think it depends on how they extend the gameplay.
Yeah, I
over
was gonna
missions.
say.
That's
Yeah.
what I'd say.
That's true. Yeah,
But
I don't think it'll be
but
below a
what
70.
we played was what I played was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
It's a
And
good pick. It was
then
on my list.
on for a little bit of a risky one, in my opinion, The Expanse, the Telltale series.
Ooh, okay.
I
a risky-
believe, I have belief that it will be good.
Maybe.
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 It
You
could
know,
be
here's the
dog.
thing is that Telltale, I wouldn't say doesn't miss, but when they hit, they do hit
Yeah.
pretty well.
Exactly.
Yes.
And they don't usually miss by much if they miss.
They usually
No,
do. Like,
my worry would be this doesn't come out this year.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
only worry. Yeah.
But honestly, that's maybe the best case scenario.
Yeah.
Like that might be
Mm.
a good case
Yeah.
where it doesn't release and then you don't lose points.
yeah.
It could also be like I'm not sure if all episodes are going to come out this year, so I'm not sure how they're going to tally the points. If it's just based on like the first episode, or I don't know. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see how they do it.
I also went for Minecraft Legends because I like the look of it. I think it will probably review pretty well.
It's going to get some good scores.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
imagine it'll be anything below a 70, that's for sure. Another Telltale, Wolf Among Us 2.
Mhm.
Thought I'd go for
That-
that.
I think
That's a good
gonna-
choice.
Turtle will be happy about that one.
Yeah, he
That's
will.
a good choice.
Yeah.
That's a very good choice.
Yeah, I mean, the first one was great. I can't remember what it got, but I'm sure it did pretty well.
I don't think it's on OpenCritic because it's too old. But
Yes,
it
that's
did-
probably right. I don't.
It did
yeah.
do well on Metacritic. It was definitely well received for sure.
Yes, 100%.
Dune Spice Wars, which is
Now-
a game
now-
that's yeah,
I have an objection against Dune Spice Wars
because it's
Being on this
basically
list.
already out.
because it has scores already. It doesn't
Oh,
have
really?
it doesn't have an OpenCritic score, but
I
it
didn't know
does.
that.
People have reviewed it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
IGN's given it an 8 out of 10.
Oh, okay. Well, that's rigged as fuck, isn't it?
Attack
That's
of
rigged.
the Fanboy has given it a 4.5 stars.
That's
Noob
rigged.
Tube has given it an 85.
I didn't even know.
I don't know if we can allow this.
This is rigged. Nah,
I
two,
was
three of us
I was
agree.
basing it purely based off the fact that I played it.
because technically currently in early access is allowed.
Yeah.
Is so by
But it's just a
our
really good
metrics,
early access
it
game.
is it is allowed. So you know
Yeah.
what? We keep it, I guess.
There you go.
I guess.
Easy.
I guess technically we can override it. I can fuck you, but
No.
I mean, maybe we'll keep it.
No.
I guess we'll keep it. I guess,
Anyway, I really
mean,
like it. I
but
played
who-
like 40
maybe
hours of it in the first
maybe
week.
it will review really poorly from here on out.
Surely.
Maybe people will
The
fucking
final
hate it,
patch, the final patch will destroy the game and it just reviews horribly.
or it just
Unplayable.
doesn't release out of early access this year.
Yeah,
It's possible
true.
that is the possibility I think may happen, but maybe I don't know. They release content patches like every month or so, and
Yeah,
they're
okay,
pretty
cool.
hefty ones.
No,
so-
I haven't played. It's on Game Pass. I gotta play it.
Oh yeah, it is
Gotta
too.
give it a go.
Yeah, you should
Yeah,
play
gotta
it.
try it out.
It's worth a go. It's
Yeah.
I think probably about like a 3 or 4 hour learning curve before you start to be able to play on your own properly. But
It's not too bad.
yeah, it's not
I
bad.
like Dune the movie. I know this is based on the game, based on the books, but
Yeah,
I will.
it's
I mean,
similar
well,
enough.
based on the
Yeah.
movie, yeah.
People
Yeah,
are gonna hate me
so
for saying
that's
that.
Actually.
And then I also got Cocoon, which is like an indie. That's like an Xbox one, isn't it? Like
They
a-
showed that at the E3 Xbox thing last year. It
Yeah.
looked cool. It
Yeah.
actually looked really cool.
I like
yeah.
the look of it. I think it'll
Yeah,
do
no,
pretty well.
no, that's a good pick. That's a good
Yeah.
pickup.
All right, Jamie.
So that's what Nathan got. I have picked up 9 other games since then. So obviously my cutoff was Redfall. Those were the 10 that I got. Since then, I picked up Starfield. And you know what, we were saying this is risky. This is a risky pick. I don't know if Starfield's gonna hit. Dude, there's no way this is below an 80.
Sure.
And
no,
you know what?
I don't think it'll be below.
I
70.
don't
think-
Sure.
and the
Yeah.
fact that because I didn't like Fallout 4 that much. And that motherfucker's got an 88 on Open Critic.
Okay.
True.
So like if it's better than Fallout 4 and it's bug-ish free, I think this is a 90.
Even if it's a
90
little
right now.
worse, it's still good.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll take a 85. I'll
Yeah.
take an 81. Like I'm
Yeah.
fine with that. Like that's some good points for, but not much. I only spent, I think I bid 15 because for some reason I thought that you guys were going to go for Starfield after the
Nah.
bid. I'm not sure why.
I would have.
Yeah, I think Starfield actually was a gap in our picking, to be honest.
Mm.
I think it's actually not a bad pick. I also picked up the 2 Yakuza / Like a Dragon games coming out this year because these fuckers do not go below an 80. I
No.
looked at all of them on Open Critic. None of them are below an 80, I'm pretty sure.
Yakuza does really well.
And also Yakuza recently has done really, really well. So I think Ishin is going to score particularly high. I think there's a chance that Like a Dragon Gaiden doesn't release this year. Just because it's kind of weird that both of them are releasing this year. But I think Gaiden might be shorter than the typical Yakuza game because it's sort of like a interlude, kind of like a middle. It's like it's telling the story of the protagonist from Yakuza 1 to 6 in between Yakuza 6 and Yakuza 7, I think. Because they're both in Yakuza 8. So that's the premise of the game. So yeah, I think they're going to review really well. I also picked up Wolong Fallen Dynasty, which if you don't know what this game is, this is by Team Ninja, who they did the Neo games, Neo 1 and 2. And those typically go below an 80. No, above an 80.
Hell yeah.
And this is essentially, Neo 3 in all but name. Instead of it being Japanese culture, it's based on Chinese mythology. So yeah, it's on Game Pass. It's coming out in March, and I think I played the demo and it was really fun to play. So I think this is going to review pretty well. I also picked up Hellblade 2, which is a bit of a risky pick only because I'm not sure if it's going to release this year.
Yeah.
But there is a chance. I think if Starfield actually releases in the first half of this year, Hellblade could be like a November game for Xbox. And Hellblade 1 reviewed really well, and I think Hellblade 2 looks really, really good. So I'm hoping this releases and it scores pretty high. I also picked up the Plucky Squire, which is a Devolver Digital game, which they reviewed last year, which is sort of like it's like a 2D/3D like picture book kind of game where you're kind of moving a character across the page in 2D, and then in the trailer he just goes off the page and becomes 3D, and then he's in this kid's like bedroom, sort of Toy Story style, and then they go do some quick flashes of like where he will be in the environment, and it looks incredible. I think it's going to be a really, really highly rated game. So I'm looking forward to it as well. I also picked up Atomic Heart, which you may have heard of. It's sort of Bioshock-esque. Sort of reminds me of Bioshock. It's by a Ukrainian team, maybe Russian. I don't know. Eastern European, somewhere in there. And that's coming up soon, and it looks really, really cool, really dope. First-person shooter, kind of freezing enemies and then like bashing them with a melee weapon, and then they shatter. So really cool effects, and it looks like it's going to be really hard to run on a PC. I feel like it's going to be one of those heavy games, which I'm sort of like. Performance always gets docked when it comes to consoles not running a game well. So we'll see how that goes. But I think it's going to review pretty well. And then my last 2, which I bid and got recently, just this last Saturday, Horizon Call of the Mountain, which is the VR Horizon game, which I think has to hit because it is literally the only reason to get a PSVR 2.
That's true.
And I think PlayStation knows it's going to be a hit, and that's why this is the sort of sole thing that they're pushing forward. Like, because they showed like the launch lineup, and it's not very great.
A really big thing about this one,
except for Horizon Call of the Mountain. which
Mm.
I've some of the previews of people that there's some games journalists have played it and they said it's like a fucking life-changing experience, feeling like the bow with because they've got like the adaptive triggers and the same kind of motion you have with the DualSense with the controllers. And so that feeling is much better than you get with a typical VR controller.
Oh
So
yeah, the adaptive triggers would be like sort of like haptic.
and haptic feedback as well
Yeah.
in the actual
Oh,
controller.
okay.
So that's
Wow.
why it's so expensive. Is because it's like it's
Right.
literally like you've got
It's
like
cutting
two.
edge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So and this game is definitely going to utilize that, and I think it's going to score high because it's going to be like
I reckon that'll hit. Yeah.
I think it's gonna. As I said, it kind of has to be.
Yeah, it
Otherwise,
has to.
PSVR
Yeah.
2 is fucking dead in the water. Because
Yeah.
why else would you get a PSVR 2?
That's true.
And the last game I got is called Sea of Stars.
Good choice.
And this is by the same developers who did The Messenger, which was that like ode to the old school 2D Ninja Gaiden. And Sea of Stars is sort of like an ode to old school like 2D Final Fantasy, like turn-based. Looks really cool. I think it's going to be a huge hit with people who like that kind of game. And yeah, I think it's going to score really well. And it's coming this year. So, so yeah, those are my picks.
Let's go through how much we spent really quick.
Oh yeah,
you guys.
good idea. Yeah.
I spent
Davey.
$18 getting my 8 games. Jamie
Dude, I only spent 45.
45.
Dude, I was scared a little bit. I was scared that you guys were gonna take my shit.
I knew
spent
for
a little
sure
bit.
that like 5 of mine no one was gonna even look at.
And you'd be right.
Yeah.
You'd be right. Like,
Dude.
Okay, what was the one? Football Manager.
bro, you could have bet -5. You could have like the lowest amount. I mean, you probably did $1.
I did
that's-
$1, yeah.
Yeah, that is more than enough. You know,
There were only 3 games that I didn't bet $1 on, something like that. Yeah.
yeah, no, I went all out because I'm thinking like in terms of budget, like I don't really need that much when I've got a full deck. You know, obviously
true.
some games will come out. You know, obviously, like I'm sort of regretting Redfall.
Yeah.
After seeing that, I'm really worried about Redfall. But also, like I almost think Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is like a guaranteed out. Like it's not coming this year. And so obviously, once that gets a date of next year, then I'll take that out of my list. But also, like in terms of scoring. Seto, I mean Ben has some points on the board.
I actually do. Yeah, I
You
saw
have
that.
you have 20 points. You're currently in first place
With
20 points with the Dead Space remake.
with the Dead Space remake.
Got
yeah.
19.7.
Well, it's 19.7, but it actually has to update to 20. It just hasn't updated because if you go down to Ben's like list, it says 20.
Mhm.
Wait, it says it says 20 for me.
It
Let me
says 20 for me
refresh.
as well. It says-
Yeah, I loaded this page a while ago. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
It's
Yeah, so
19
it'll
every
it'll
year.
update. It'll be 20. Eventually. So yeah. So Ben is currently ahead.
I'm in the lead. right
And then upcoming releases, we can go over those quickly. So I've got a couple next, 2 on the same day, Like a Dragon, Ishin, and Atomic Heart. And I've got Horizon Call of the Mountain. Then Ben has Sons of the Forest. Then Nathan has Company of Heroes 3 and Octopath Traveler 2. Then I have Destiny 2 Lightfall and Wolong Fallen Dynasty. Ben has Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and I have Resident Evil 4 Remake. So those are the upcoming games.
Lightfall's gonna be a fun one because it was counterpicked by Nathan. So that's actually
That is
our first
dude,
counter pick.
Yeah, that is
the
going to be
first
very
counter pick.
interesting.
Yeah.
Where Lightfall. I mean, you got to bet on a shitty launch day for Lightfall.
I know that I'll be losing points, but I'm just not
I'll
sure
play
how
hopefully
many
not.
I'm losing.
Hopefully not too many.
Yeah.
You never know, dude. It could flop. It
It
could.
could.
Flop.
I don't think it will.
I
But
don't think
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
I don't think
but it
I think
could.
it's going to be a really fantastic release. I think it's going to score higher than Witch Queen.
Probably. It's definitely more hyped, and also I think people are excited, much more excited about it.
Yeah.
Especially, grappling hooks. People love grappling hooks. So
It's true.
Oh, I forgot about the grappling hook. Yeah, that's going to be so fun. Oh, I can't wait.
people are very excited for
Dude,
grappling
I
hooks.
think when it's got a grappling hook, it's a guaranteed 85. I think that's how
Yeah,
it goes.
easy.
I
It's a
think it
base
doesn't-
85.
I haven't
It's
seen a
base.
grappling hook game below an 85.
Dying Light.
No, Dying Light did high. Did high.
Did it?
I can't
Did it?
talk.
Did it?
I don't know. Dying Light 2. Let me just quickly check. We got time. Dying Light 2. Let's see what we got.
No, I'm talking about Dying Light. Not Dying
Oh,
Light.
Light 1? Light 1 did more than Light 2.
Yeah.
Dying Light 1 got a 74.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe not.
Okay.
Wow, that's crazy. That's you know what? The critics were wrong
Yeah.
about Dying Light 1. Dying Light 1 guaranteed at least an 80. Should be an 80. And Dying Light 2's got a 76. Yeah, that probably checks out. Anyway, that's our podcast, but we do have one more thing, of course. always have one more thing, which
Always have one more
if
thing.
you new around here for the first time, this is just something that we've thought was cool this week. You know, obviously it's been 9 days now since the last podcast, but you know, a weekish. Does anyone feel like going first? I'm happy to go, but if anyone wants to go, Nathan has to go. His one more. He's got to go get his thing.
He's got to get us one more thing.
What is it?
Do you want me to show it now?
Yeah, go ahead.
All
I'll go
right.
next.
This is not a new one more thing. This is an old as fuck one more thing.
Show it off. This is
I,
like
I
cool
don't
show and
have
tell.
that many new things happening, so I thought I'd just start going through old like video game memorabilia stuff every week that I found that was like standout cool. This week we have the book that came with Super Mario Maker 1 on the Wii U.
Oh hell
shit,
yeah!
that's
Oh, that's
amazing.
pretty cool. I like that. It's like the
It's a
the brick.
hardcover, like cool brick book.
Made of brick.
Made of brick.
It's made of brick.
And you think it'd be like an instruction manual or something. It's just a book of artwork.
Oh, that's so sick. I love
I'll
stuff
put it in
like
the
that.
middle. And it's
Yeah.
just like every page is some different art.
I love
You've
that.
got
Yeah, that's cool.
long
Wow, I don't
Mario.
like how he's so long. Oh my god, is that what they wanted him to be like? I guess that's what he like. That's what he's like when you get the big mushroom, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Jeez, I don't like that.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's just got
Yeah, that's
different
dope.
artwork on each page. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's really
thing.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's a good one more thing. I
Yes.
like books.
Thank you.
I will go next. I showed something very similar that I did find recently. I was going and cleaning around, and I found from Destiny the Taken King, the collector's
Oh my
edition.
no!
Lost the book.
Dude, okay, it would have been crazy if Nathan brought the
I
fucking
thought
book
about it.
from Destiny 1 because he's
thought
got the
about
motherfucking
it.
book from Destiny Taken King.
Wait, you're the really? No,
It's
like,
the
this
same book,
He
but
would
just
read
like
this
it
has
different.
when we're playing
everything.
Destiny. He's like showing this fucking random lore
This-
bitch.
This
shit. It's
has
like,
all of it where it talks about exos and one like that.
Oh,
Oh,
that book is
hell
so
yeah.
much cooler than mine.
But also,
yeah, Nathan's was like a handy book to like weapons of
Arms
Destiny
and
1.
armaments,
Yeah,
Jamie.
arms and armaments. Yeah, my bad.
this, but the cool thing about this, it has like maps and stuff like that as well. It has like
Man, that's
post
really
budget
cool.
Oh, that's
shade
actually
and
pretty
whatnot.
sick.
But then the big
Yeah.
thing, it has a strange coin from Destiny 1, a replica strange
I
coin.
thought that was a
Whoa.
fucking cock ring. I was like, what is that? What is that?
Show off my cock ring. No.
my Destiny Taken King cock ring.
Yeah, no, this is a like a replica of the
Strange.
Destiny 1
That's
coin.
cool.
Yeah,
That's
so
pretty
it
cool.
has all of that. And then actually the cool thing, it has coordinates right there. I don't know if you can see it, but it has like coordinates right there. Those
What?
actually led to coordinates in game, which was I think like a gold chest or something like that, like something small, but actually led to coordinates in game. It was really cool.
That's really cool.
Pay to
Yeah.
win.
Yeah, pay to win.
Pay to win. Yeah, actually pay to win. I don't know where that gold chest was. I don't have it in the game.
Actually pay to win. But yeah, no, that's my little remember that's my one thing.
Well, I'm not as well read as you both. I've been watching TV, the new medium, because now we don't have to read words on a fucking page to understand emotions and shit. I've been watching the Last of Us TV show.
Yes.
Don't spoil it.
I'm not spoiling
I have
anything.
not watched it.
I'm not
Right,
spoiling
guys.
anything.
I'm
All
waiting.
I'm gonna do is I would recommend after episode 3 comes out, start watching it. Start watch it in thirds. You know, little chapters.
I'm gonna
sort
wait
of
till
thing.
9, dude.
It's so far away. I need
Yeah,
to talk to
it's
someone
fine.
about it. This show is so fucking good. It's really. I'm not gonna spoil anything. It's really smart about making choices that like are different to the game, but make more sense for TV. And there's a lot of choices that, like, in any other adaptation, I'd be like, oh, this is dog shit. Like, why are they changing these things that I know from the game? Totally makes sense. They make it really cool. Like, in terms of like visual elements, it's like, oh man, they get it. They fucking got this shit. And I'm so far, we're sort of still in the intro phase, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. And obviously considering what happens in the game, I just think they did a fucking good job. And even if you haven't played the game, Ben, I know you haven't played fucking Last of
Haven't
Us,
played,
but that's
yeah.
fine. Recommend it. I think it's a great way to experience the Last of Us story so far, at least. And I don't think it's going to get any worse. And it also just got renewed for season 2, which means,
Hell yeah.
wow, we get to see all that discourse again over Last of Us Part 2. Holy shit! Oh, I can't wait for that.
That's
episode
why I
1.
saw that in our gaming.
I can't wait for that.
Do you recommend to play it or watch it, or do both at the same time?
You know what a cool way to do it would be is to watch an episode and then play that segment in the game.
And to
And
the
then-
point,
Because it is very much like episode 1 is, the beginning
starting
of the
segment.
game, and then the introduction to, Joel and the start of the game. Episode 2 is, I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to say it, but
You know
it's
what?
it's very structured in like the chapters of the game with the
Mm.
episodes.
I will watch it weekly and I'll play it and I'll tell you how my progress is and how I'm enjoying it that way.
You should.
I'll
You should
do
play
it
The Last of Us Part 1 on PS5.
I'll do both.
Yeah, I actually want to play that remake.
It's coming to
Remaster,
PC.
whatever.
It's coming
Yeah.
to PC.
mm.
I think
I
just
might
wait for that. It's March 3rd, I think. So it's soon.
Mhm.
That's oh man, that is gonna be so good. I'm gonna fucking of course I'm gonna play it again. You know, I'm just gonna buy Last of Us for a 4th time. Why not? Fuck it.
Does it do things with the haptic triggers?
It does,
Hmm,
but
Maybe I'll buy it on PS.
if you plug in so you can some games do have the DualSense features on PC, but you need to be plugged in. So you would need a long USB cable. USB-C
That
cable.
shit's like 8 meters to my couch.
Yeah. Well, you can get
Yeah.
a 10-meter USB-C cable.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
Yes. So they do. There are those features, and it will be on PC as well. They probably will
Cool.
add them.
Mm.
Yeah. Great TV show. Great TV. Just in general, like not even like totally, not taking into account that it's an adaptation of something that already exists, but in terms of just like a TV show, it's like fucking
Really
really good.
Yeah, I'm
Like
excited.
this shit is gonna wipe the fucking Emmys at the end of the year. Let me tell you, this thing is gonna be getting all the awards for sure.
I think that companies are finally starting to understand how to adapt a video game.
Well, are
No,
they?
no, there's still misses, but I think
I
that
did
there
watch the
are-
Uncharted film last year.
No, that's bad. Movies are bad, but TV shows are the way to go when it
I
comes.
do
to
think TV
adapting.
shows are the way to go.
Movies, you don't do movies.
And
But,
I think
like,
now that you've seen The Last of Us adaptation do so well, both critically and commercially,
Mm.
I think you're going to start to see a lot of production companies and television studios like take video game adaptations seriously.
bro, what's my God of War's adaptation?
It's coming. Amazon Prime. They already announced it. It's
Oh
coming.
really?
Yeah, yeah. It's,
Well, have they
yeah,
actually? Have they
yeah.
actually?
No, like actually, it's greenlit. There's
Exciting.
there's a Fallout Amazon Prime series.
I did
that's
see
in-
that.
that
That
is
could be
being
good.
filmed. That is being filmed now. There are leaked
I did-
images of the set. Like
That
there's
could
like
be really good.
I
Nuka-Cola,
did
like
see that. I did see
it
that.
actually. It's by I think it's some of the creators of Westworld.
Oh,
behind
that's
it.
really
So,
cool. That's really cool. Okay.
a show that got cancelled recently, but it's fine.
Mhm.
Westworld fucking God, don't get me on that. That shit dropped off. Let
I
me
Really
won't
tell you.
bother watching it then.
Yeah. I was
You
gonna watch
actually,
that.
if you watch the first season, it's a pretty well-contained story.
Okay,
Just watch
that's all
one
right then.
season and that's it. The first season,
Alright.
and then just pretend that that's it. That's how it goes.
Fair enough. We'll give that a
Forget
go.
about it. Season 2 is fucking okay. Season 3 is I'd stop watching. Season
Yeah,
3 bad.
understandable.
Season 4, I didn't watch. But yeah, so yeah, video game adaptations good now? Question mark maybe.
Hmm?
There's the Mario movie as well.
That's the title right there. That's the title right there.
Yeah, the clickbait title.
Video
will go-
game adaptations good now maybe.
For the 5 minutes we talk about it at the end.
Yeah.
Of the
Exactly. But yeah, that's what I've been watching, and I'm very excited for the episode tomorrow. I guess
Hmm.
today technically.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's me.
Very good.
I guess I'll outro the show.
Hmm.
Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate guys and girls. Be
Hmm.
inclusive. And well, it doesn't matter. We're gonna do it. Yeah, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. We all appreciate it. We're gonna continue doing this. I'm not sure when we're doing episode 3. We're doing on Thursday. We're just
Thursday,
gonna
Preferably.
Yep,
Yeah.
Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Thursday it
leave
is.
on Sunday, so
Yeah. No.
Thursday it is.
Yep.
Thursday it is. We will be back with another episode this week. What are we going to talk about?
we don't even
Who
know.
knows? Who knows? We'll figure it out. We'll play some video games. Who knows what's going to
Mhm.
happen? But yeah, we'll see you guys again on Friday for another episode. And thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Goodbye.
Bye.